This is a third grade lesson, and you guys can act as if yourselves, not third grade. In previous lessons, prior to this lesson, we would have already talked about economic understanding, dealing with how economics plays a part in natural resources such as land, human labor, as well as entrepreneurship, and that goes into dealing with capital goods, dealing with goods and services. And what that actually does is lets us go into this new lesson plan, which talks about goods and services. And when we talk about goods and services, we're talking about when you're actually in need of something, such as, when we also talked about needs and wants. But it's also, bringing in the title of services involved, and that actually plays a part into who's providing the things that we need, or the things that we want.
I want y'all to remember when we're in literature, we talk about homonyms, right? Who knows what a homonym is?
Words that sound the same.
Words that sound the same,
But mean different things.
Yeah,
Where they are spelled the same, but have a different meaning depending on the context in which they're used.
Like read and read.
Like tear and tear.
Tear and tear, read and
Tear and
read.
tear, or bark and bark, meaning a dog can bark. And then you have a tree bark. So those are the type of words we're talking about when we're talking about goods, being in that category of homonyms.
right. So in this context, we're talking about economics. So goods would be. Somebody give me an example. Janice, give me an example.
Good.
Of goods. In economics. Food. Okay. Hannah? Clothes. Emma? Phones. Anybody else? Okay. So based on those examples that Janice and Hannah and Emma just gave us, who think they can formulate a definition?
Something that you buy.
Something to buy?
Yeah. An object. Like something that's actually a tangible thing.
Okay.
Something that you want.
Okay.
And that's also, you guys brought up things that are about what the goods are. And that's also the reason we're bringing this into the lesson that we're talking about this, because how big does money play into goods and services? How does that tie in? What is the big idea? We're going to look at a little scenario lesson video based on how we're talking about goods and services and what kind of things can happen when you're dealing with goods and services. I'll pose a question. What would actually happen, and this leads right into our video, what would actually happen if your car broke down? Or if you needed some kind of repair? What would you actually have to do? Someone give me an answer to that.
Yeah, but call somebody.
You have to call someone for help. What else?
If you're on the road, you'll have to get a tow truck or
You have to
someone
get a
to
tow
bring you
truck.
there.
If you're able to just drive it, where would you take it to?
The car shop.
Car shop, dealership. And what are those people actually going to do? Service. So go ahead, Alexis. What do you got?
Not jerk.
Something that I touched her phone and she's sick.
While you're watching the video, kind of get some ideas in your mind, with a friend, and think about what else type of services that you would be paying for, that you would have to pay for.
Goods and services are an important part of life because if you always got goods and your car broke down, how would you fix it? Good question, Alyssa. Let's figure that out.
Well, you need service.
You need a car repaired. Hello, welcome to Alyssa's Auto Repair. How may I help you? Our car is breaking down. Okay, let's go write this down. First go on the board.
Okay, so we're not going to watch the whole video. they actually define what a good is and what a service is. If you guys are paying attention, which I know you were. So
Well, first activity, we have two different scenarios, and they're pretty much on the sheets telling you exactly what is happening. And when you are looking at this paper, kind of get an idea of how the conversation, when you present your side of the scenario, is going to be. And then kind of play out what goods and services, and as well as, again, tying into how important the money aspect of goods and services can play. So we're going to go ahead with scenario 1 first. If those who have scenario 1.
okay, before we get started out, we want to give you guys just a little time just to read over your scenario and come up with, a script or something like. Let's make it interesting, guys. You guys ready? Yes. All right. Let's go. Let's see what you guys got.
He has been sentenced to 30 days ago.
Wait.
I know. But what were you going to say? Sorry. That like like I should do it. People
Okay, are we ready? I'm so glad we were able to meet for lunch today.
Oh, yeah. Hi, welcome to Dr. Anna's restaurant. How many do you have today?
3.
All right, let me show you where the table is. Your server will be right with you, okay?
Thank you. How are y'all doing? I'm Sarah. I'm taking care of you. Starting out with something to drink. Can I have water, please? Okay.
Can I have I'll have sweet tea with extra lemon.
All right. Do y'all want to start with any appetizers or salads? Garlic rolls.
All right, it's right in for you.
I need some garlic. Thank you. There's your water, your Sprite, your sweet tea with extra lemon, and your garlic nuts. Do y'all ready to go ahead and order?
No, we need extra time.
Okay.
These are so good.
I guess that we're going to go. We're ready. What can I get for you?
We want a really large pizza.
Okay, so the 16-inch. Got it. Anything on it? Just cheese?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni. Is that all for you?
Yes.
All right.
And more garlic.
And we're on.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I got that.
It comes with it.
All right. Here's your pizza and here's your plate. Y'all enjoy. Let me know if you need anything.
I'll
Where's
take
our
some
garlic?
water.
Okay. Bye. So is this all going to be on one check or do you want it split?
It's on one.
Just
Oh.
okay.
I make
There
a
you
lot.
go.
On that teacher salary.
Yeah.
Okay. And there goes my family dinner.
All right. There we go. Thanks for coming out. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks.
I just want to make this statement. Like, see, this activity is like good to get students engaged, which we always put, emphasis on. And we also get to see what students like and what they enjoy. Like, we know that Aubrey likes sweet tea with extra lemon, and we just found that out just from them making up their own script. Hannah likes to drink water, maybe because she doesn't want to pay for a Sprite. So we can also like tie children's interest in the activity with them, just creating their own script. So I want to see, even though you guys are not going to present, I just want to know what did y'all like decide on? What did y'all do?
Well, I mean, we just kind of thought about the new Apple Watch that's out. I mean, it's really expensive, so you're not able to really put $17,000 down in cash.
Right.
Most people would not. So there will be payment plans or credit cards or resort to the cheaper one.
Maybe like an
And then
off-brand.
insurance.
No, they have different levels that you can buy
I know, just to tie in, because I did talk to this group as well, they talked about the phone on the watch, that also has to have insurance, you know, to cover it. That's something service within service. So you have those kinds of options as well, where you have, when you're dealing with goods and services, but there's also a sub-service that's involved. Yes, Cecilia?
Do you have to have a college degree to do some of these services?
There are a lot of different jobs that are out there that you don't have to have a college degree to be involved with services, such as when Sarah did the waitress. That's something that you could be doing while you're in college. So no, good question. Very good question.
Any other questions? No?
And also just to tie in the fact that you can incorporate math because you're dealing with money, knowing that certain services are going to cost a certain amount of money, and if you're giving them, obviously we use monopoly money, knowing how to add that money, knowing how to add those figures together. That's how you can incorporate them.